worry about you, Alton. I like worrying about you. That's the deal.
It's okay. I know why I'm here.
Midnight Special is written and directed by Jeff Nichols. It stars Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Kirsten Dunst, and Adam Driver. This film tells a story of a family who's on the run from both the government as well as a religious cult. Why? Because their son is being affected by unexplainable supernatural abilities. With a set of coordinates given to them by their son, they have to keep him safe at all costs while trying to reach this location in time for an event of unimaginable importance. Let's start with what type of movie this really is, and it's a couple of different things. For one, it is a clear homage to sci-fi films from the 70s and the 80s. Things like Close Encounters of the Third Kind, The Abyss, or E.T. It takes this idea, like a child with powers, but then grounds it in a world that feels like our own. It shares a close resemblance to Close Encounters with the aspect of being drawn to a specific location. And it was those types of elements that really drew me to the theater to see Midnight Special. But way more than throwback sci-fi, this movie is largely about the relationship between a father and his son. It's the physical and emotional journey of a father taking care of his boy. And being a father myself, it's a theme that I could really relate to. We have an extreme case in this movie, a child with supernatural abilities, and yet the point here is still the same. A father has an inherent responsibility to care for their child, and that means protecting them, yes, but it equally means letting them grow and become who they need to be and helping them along that path. So while there's definitely moments of action and fun in Midnight Special, it's these themes that create the emotional resonant moments that give this film real depth. And I largely credit this to the writer and director of the film, Jeff Nichols. And if you're not familiar with this filmmaker, you really should be, because while his filmography isn't very extensive yet, Midnight Special being his fourth film, all of his films are incredibly well crafted and definitely warrant viewing. His most popular movie up until now is probably Mud from 2012, but my personal favorite, at least until now, would have to be Take Shelter. And if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It is so good. What this director does so well, particularly in Midnight Special, is that he treats his audience with respect. I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of being spoon-fed lots of information in a film. It becomes lazy storytelling, and it many times just drags down the pace of the movie. Well, there's no long expository dialogue scenes in Midnight Special. Instead, the director gives us small pieces of information as the story is unfolding and allows us to make all the connections on our own. And this is the greatest trademark of good storytelling, because the director understands that we as audience members can make connections between characters through their actions, through the events taking place in the story. So while not everything is fully explained by the end of Midnight Special, we have enough information to keep us oriented through the story. So by the end of it, we can come up with educated conclusions that keep the movie from becoming too overly ambiguous. The other thing that makes this such a powerful film is, of course, the performances, which are absolutely stellar across the board. Adam Driver is once again phenomenal after his breakout role in The Force Awakens. He plays this government agent who, as his investigation is unfolding, becomes less and less sure of what side he's really on. It's an excellent performance, and I personally just can't wait to see where this actor's career goes. Joel Edgerton has a fantastic emotional struggle in this movie, and he's a character we're not really sure about when the movie starts. But as we learn more and more about him, he sort of becomes the embodiment of the audience in the movie. This guy is a truly great actor, and I just find myself enjoying him more and more the more that I see him. The two main stars of this film, though, are Michael Shannon and Jaden Lieberher, and let me just first say that the boy who plays Alden does a very good job. This is a complex role for a child actor, and he pulls it off where the movie kind of hinges on his whole performance. He brings a level of complexity and maturity to this role that could easily have been lost had this been tackled by a less talented actor. And as for Michael Shannon, ever since I first saw this guy in Boardwalk Empire drown this guy in a lake, he's been high on my radar because he brings this different type of energy to the screen, and yet a real subtlety to his performance There's something going on behind his eyes that's mysterious and yet so very expressionate. Every time he's on screen, he's absolutely captivating, and he's by far my favorite part about this film. I honestly don't really have any negatives I can say about this film. I can already hear people saying, it doesn't explain enough, or it's too slow. And while it's definitely a slow burn, every scene builds on the next one, and you become so emotionally invested in the characters. There's nothing that I would cut out of this movie. So if you're looking for an intelligent, thought-provoking, phenomenally acted film with an intriguing sci-fi element that feels a lot like something Spielberg would make back in the day, then go check out this movie, because it's the kind of film that people just aren't making anymore. I'm gonna give Midnight Special a 9 out of 10. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You know, I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed my review for Midnight Special, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below with your thoughts. And if you want to see more reviews like this, then please subscribe. Before I close out this video, I want to give a quick shout out to a fellow YouTuber that I think is worth your time. Ramiz Hun has a very intelligent perspective on film. His reviews and his editorials are extremely entertaining, but more importantly, very insightful. I've talked to this guy many times in both the YouTube comments and on Twitter. He always responds to me, and I've had some really great conversations with him. He's a really cool dude. I'm gonna leave the link down in the description below. Go check him out when you get a chance. Tell him Josh sent you. Well, guys, that's all I've got for today. So until next time, keep watching those movies. I'll see ya.